I want to talk about, so we did say that post the pandemic or in the pandemic, we learned lots of things about how to teach students. And even now, when I think COVID is not rampant and there aren't as many respiratory diseases going around, but we're still having somewhat of a hybrid process, whether people in or out of the university, and then how we teach as well on online. Peer teaching has been a big culture. It's a culture, let's say if I wanted to get interested in medical education, we've seen the growth of these companies. You've probably heard them: Geeky Medics, QuesMed, PassMed, and they're phenomenal. Like, I use them all the time for their OSCE videos, for revision books and stuff. So these groups are growing. And I just want to understand, what is the role of the medical school for teaching students? What is the role of peer teaching groups for us teaching ourselves? The growth of these groups, is it good? Is it bad? Are they filling a gap? Of course they're filling a gap. Is it a gap that's always been there? Or should this gap be filled by medical schools? Could you talk about that process of, these larger but really useful companies and question banks being formed? Could you contextualize that for us?
Again, a good question, because with the advent of obviously with the internet, the web becoming what it is, and the social media out there, and the opportunities within social media to deliver teaching, it could be like we are doing a podcast. This will be seen by so many people out there, but here we are, just two of us or three of us talking at a podcast. So the impact you can make without realizing that, from this end, just through a screen, is phenomenal. It's immense. Some web pages, some websites are doing phenomenal work. They're accredited. You can really depend on them. They are quality assured, quality controlled, or to a certain standard. Some aren't, but that is something. There is some, I can say from my end, by looking at them, that they're not really the best out there. But some are really, really good. Some do fantastically good stuff, which is absolutely fine to go and look into. I'm all for technology. I'm a technophile, is that the right word? I love technology of all sorts, but you have to be, it comes with a caveat, because what I feel now, that there's an information overload on students. There's so much out there for you to go and look at. We had one book, right? Kumar and Clark, for example, or Hamilton Bailey's book, and then obviously the clinical environment where we went into. So our resources were much less. I'm talking, again, going back to when I was a medical student. So you learn from seniors. Peer teaching still existed at the time. Lots of peer teaching society. Or you learn from your clinicians, or you learn from the books, right? They weren't even, I remember first year, they weren't even PowerPoints. They were like those, have you seen those acrylic slides?
Is it smartboard?
No, it wasn't smart. No, smartboard is 21st century. Acetate slide. That's the acetate slide. And halfway through, the professor rubbing out something, and no, this is not right, and everybody's copying as much as we could. So we've made a huge, I think last 20-25 years, technology has gone through the roof. It has caused a lot of information overload, because students now want to learn so much from so many other places.
It's easier to make content. Yeah, but now...
But how do you know it's the right content for you? Am I learning the right thing by looking at 6 websites? You don't need 6, you just need one good accredited website, standardized. How do you know it's standardized as a medical student? You can't, because you don't have the experience yet. So you learn from seniors, or somebody might say, go and look at that particular web page or thing, or YouTube or whatever. For me, it doesn't matter where you learn it from, as long as you are safe and competent. As long as you can demonstrate that you are safe and you know the stuff, it doesn't matter where it comes from. But you have to, that is for me the key, safety and competency.